Dun, 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 dun. Bible read, Book of Acts, chapter 14. In Iconium, they entered the Jewish synagogue together and spoke in such a way that a great number of both Jews and Greeks came to believe. Although the disbelieving Jews stirred up and poisoned the minds of the Gentiles against the brothers, so they stayed for a considerable period, speaking only boldly of the Lord, who confirmed the words about his grace by granting signs and wonders to occur through their hands. The people of the city divided. Some were with the Jews, others with the apostles. When there was an attempt by both the Gentiles and the Jews together with their leaders to attack and stone them, they realized it and fled to the Lycaonian cities of Lystra, Debarri, and to the surrounding countryside. There, where they continued to proclaim the good news. At Lystra, where is Lystra anyway? It's just by. Some of these cities don't even know. Let's see. Maybe they don't even exist anymore. Lystra. City in central Anatolia, now part of present day. Does it still exist? Province, region, central Anatolia. No, it's just a bunch of ruins, I think, maybe. Yeah. To the surrounding countryside, where they continued to proclaim the good news. At Lystra there was a crippled man, lame from birth, who never walked. He listened to Paul speaking, who looked intently at them, He listened to Paul speaking, who looked intently at him, saw that he had the faith to be healed. And he called out in a loud voice, "Stand up straight on your feet." He jumped up and began to walk about. When the crowd saw what Paul had done, they cried out in Lycaonian, "The gods have come down to us in human form." They called Barnabas Zeus and Paul Hermes, because he was the chief speaker. As the priest of Zeus, whose temple was at the entrance of the city, brought oxen and garlands to the gates, for he, together with the people, intended to offer their sacrifice. The apostles and Paul tore their garments when they heard of this, and rushed into the crowd, shouting, "Men, why are you doing this? We are of the same nature as you, human beings. We proclaim to you the good news, so you should turn from those idols to the living God, who made heaven and earth and all that is in them." In the past generations, he allowed all Gentiles to go their own ways. Yet in bestowing his goodness, he did not leave himself without a witness. For he gave you rains from heaven and fruitful seasons, and filled you with nourishment and gladness from your hearts. Even with these words, they scarcely restrained the crowds from offering sacrifice to them. However, some Jews from Antioch and Iconium arrived and won over the crowds. They stoned Paul and dragged him out of their city, supposing that he was dead. But where the disciples gathered around him, he got up and entered the city. On the following day, he left Barnabas for Derbe. After they had proclaimed the good news after he proclaimed the good news to that city and made a considerable amount of disciples, he returned to Lystra and Iconium and to Antioch. There he strengthened the spirits of his disciples and exhorted them to persevere in the faith, saying, "It is necessary for us to undergo many hardships to enter the kingdom of God." Okay, we turn back to the original missionary side. They turn the spirits of. Okay. They appointed presbyters from them in each church, and with prayer and fasting, commended them to the Lord, in whom they had put their faith. They traveled through Pisidia and reached Pamphylia, and proclaimed the word of Perga. They went down to Anatolia. From there they sailed to Antioch, and when they had been commenced to the grace of God from the work they had now accomplished. And when they arrived, they called the church together and reported what God had done with them and how he had dropped the door of faith to the Gentiles. Then they spent no little time with their disciples. and we will now go to chapter 15. So basically, what the apostles are doing is now they are still traveling throughout Central Asia Minor and essentially the Middle East and whatnot, to Turkey and whatnot, and into the Greek world, and they're going into Minoan civilization and spreading the religions. So go to chapter 15. We'll see you in chapter 15, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching our show. Have yourselves a lovely evening.